What's the most important part of organic farming? I'd have to say it's definitely the soil. For me, I want my soil to be alive. I want my soil to feed my produce. So to grow organically means to grow life within life. So my soil is alive. And to achieve this, I grow a cover crop.
Organic matter is one of the most important things you can take a look at on your soil test. There are many reasons why organic matter is important. One that I'll talk about to start with is something you may not think about all the time, and that is organic matter mineralizes. It releases nutrients for future crops. Each year on our farm, I take a look at, hey, how much organic matter do I have and how much nitrogen am I going to get out of that? 20 to 30 pounds per percent of organic matter. So if I have 5% organic matter, that's 100 to 150 pounds of free nitrogen. I'm also going to get roughly 4 to 7 pounds of phosphorus out for every 1% of organic matter and 2 to 3 pounds of sulfur. Organic matter, that's what you're going to read. That's the number that we're looking for on that soil test. Now, when we talk about benefits, so I already mentioned that, hey, this is great when I can get some nutrients out of that over time. And let me just put this in very simple terms. I find that if I have lots of organic matter out there, my ground is almost squishy. It's almost like a sponge. Okay, that's great because now I can get more water infiltration. I have more oxygen moving in that soil. I have more soil life out there. Those are all really big benefits to organic matter.
Brian talked about water a little bit, and let's talk about the water holding capacity of soil. Now, there can certainly be differences in soil, clay versus sand, and different cation exchange capacities and so forth. But the part that organic matter plays in this is really big. As you build organic matter levels in your soil, each 1% increase in organic matter means you can hold 4% more water. And when you think about it, that's a huge deal. If you can build 5% more organic matter in your soil, theoretically, you could hold 20% more water, which would be a big, big deal for crop production.
Darren mentioned if the organic matter increases, you have more water holding capacity. When the organic matter increases, you have more nutrient holding capacity too. So you can see that, hey, having organic matter, that's a really good thing. How am I going to build that? One of the biggest misconceptions out there is a lot of people think they can do tillage and build organic matter, but that's not correct. If you're doing lots of tillage, what you're doing is you're introducing more oxygen into that ground. And as I've had it explained to me by soil scientists, they say it's kind of like adding fuel to the fire. You burn up the organic matter much faster. So you will actually, in many cases, burn it faster than you're building it. And tillage is the #1 reason why in the last 100 years in the United States, you've seen organic matter levels continue to decrease. So the first step, if you want more organic matter, is you want to reduce tillage. We would also strongly encourage you to plant crops with lots of roots. Corn has 5 times the root mass of soybeans roughly. Okay, so corn would be a better choice than soybeans in terms of total amount of roots. Use manure or compost. Use some cover crops. Use biologicals. Those are the 5 things that we typically are talking about when we want to look at building organic matter.
We were utilizing humics to help farmers maximize yields before they were widely known. Our farmers have experienced unprecedented success with their crops using our humic technology. So what are humics, and how can they have such an impact on the soil and crops? Well, it all starts with raw brown coal. This is raw brown coal. It's primarily organic matter composed of inactive, insoluble humic substances, which includes humic and fulvic acids. These substances are found in nature and have many valuable properties to soil and plants. The problem with humic acids in their natural state is that most are non-activated and of little value, which means they are not as effective to plants and soils. Now let's talk about humics in the marketplace. Most humic products on the market are not active and of little value. There's quite a bit of confusion with products and the percentage of humics. Some products may tout lower or higher percentages of humic content. So how does this percentage impact the performance of humics? There is no industry standard yet for tests that tell us how much humic acid is in a product. Different tests give different percentages, and the percentages do not tell us if the humic is in its most active state. Remember, humics in their natural state are insoluble. Don't focus on percentages. What's important is solubility and soluble. Some other products are spread on a field and they just sit there. They don't dissolve into the soil, meaning they are non-beneficial to your crops.
What is lenodite? Lenodite forms as a result of a 70 million year old natural, chemical and biological humification process through reformation of animal and plant residues in special temperature, humidity and pressure conditions. Compared to other organic products, lenodite gains its edge with high cation exchange capacity and high percentages of humic and fulvic acids. The difference between lenodite and other sources of humic acids lies in its extremely bioactive molecular structure. With higher active carboxyl groups, lenodite provides essential nutrients, vitamins, and trace elements to plants and soil. In comparison, peat forms in only 2,000 years, but lenodite forms in 70 million years. Peat continues its mineralization process in soil, but lenodite directly increases soil organic matter without any further decomposition process. Soil microorganisms use organic matter nitrogen content. If nitrogen output from soil organic material decomposition is insufficient, then microorganisms uses readily available soil nitrogen for their needs, and this process ends up with nitrogen deficiency for plants. Due to continuous organic matter decomposition, other organic matter applications like peat, animal manure, and composts can cause nitrogen deficiency in plants. By just using fertilizers, we cannot reach maximum crop yields. For maximum yields, we need organic matter humic acid, high cation exchange capacity, and biological activity. Magic Leon organomineral fertilizers provides high cation exchange capacity, organic matter, and humic fulvic acids with its unique all-in-one formula. Humic acid effects on sandy light soils. In low humus sandy light soils, humic acids increase soil's nutrient and water holding capacity by coating sand particles. They hold water and nutrition in plant available forms at root zone and give them to plants as they are needed. Humic acid effects on heavy clay soils. Humic acid physically loosens heavy, compact soils and improves penetration of nutrients, plant roots, and water into the soil. What is soil pH? Soil pH affects many chemical and biological reactions. Humic acid effects on acidic soils. By high buffering capacity, humic acids neutralize soil pHs and provide favorable conditions for agriculture. Humic acid decreases acidity-induced root stress. They precipitate with harmful heavy metals such as aluminium in the soil and prevent heavy metal toxicity in plants. Humic acid effect on alkaline soils. A high soil pH diminishes absorption of many essential nutrients and trace elements. By buffering pHs to desirable levels for plant absorption, humic acids increases nutrition and trace element transfer to plants. Humic acid also dissolves interlocked soil nutrients and transforms them into plant-available forms, such as calcium phosphate. Soil pH can be considered an important parameter for plant nutrition. In high acidity, absorption of nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, calcium diminishes. On the contrary, in high alkaline conditions, absorption of iron, manganese, boron, copper, and zinc decreases. Humic acid buffers soil pH to 5.5 to 7.5 levels, which is ideal for plant development and nutrient absorption. Thus acting as a natural chelator, they help plant roots to absorb nutrients more efficiently. In undesirable pH levels, the transition of macro and microelements to plants becomes slow and inefficient. Through humic acid application, we can reach the desired soil pH and organic matter levels. Humic acids create long-term positive effects on soil quality and productivity. On the other end, conventional chemical fertilizers only show short-term effects without any plus benefits on soil structure and productivity. Magic Leon organo-mineral fertilizers with its unique all-in-one formula provides macroelements nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace elements, plus humic acids to plants and soils. From these special granules, plant roots can extract all the essential nutrients for their development and growth without searching for them individually under soil. Humic acid effects on eroded soils. On eroded soils, humic acids accumulate organic matter. By increased root structure and clay-humus complexes help preventing erosion. Humic acids show various ecological benefits. Humic acid ecological benefits. The ecological benefits of humic acids are diverse and present profitable and effective solutions for environmental problems and the preservation of the environment. First of all, soils with a high content of humic acids are a guarantee for low nitrate leaching and for optimum nutrient efficiency. A well-developed root system, which is achieved by a high content of humic acids, prevents that nitrate and pesticides mix in with groundwater. Furthermore, a low content of nitrate is an indicator and a prerequisite for appropriate organic agriculture. It happens very often that growers use fertilizers more than plants can take up. This leads to nitrate concentration in soil, which is later to be found in groundwater. A purification plant, which should sink contaminated water under a value of 5 mg NO3N per liter in complicated flows, means very high material costs at the same time. Instead of curing the symptoms, water contamination only, the root causes, nitrate leaching, should be fought against. Secondly, humic acids reduce the oversalination problem in the application of water-soluble mineral fertilizers. Humic acids are able to decrease high salt contents in soils and thus the resulting toxicities. Especially the NH4 toxicity of fertilizers containing ammonia is reduced, which is of great importance for young plants particularly. Generally, humic acids reduce root burning, which comes about through excessive salt concentrations in soils after fertilization. In case of permanent high levels of salt in soils, these are reduced. Furthermore, when humic acids are mixed with liquid fertilizers, the undesirable smell is diminished. Thirdly, humic acids are an effective means to fight against soil erosion. This is achieved both by increasing the ability of soil colloids to combine and by enhancing root system and plant development. Humic acid and its benefits have been certified by many international organic agriculture institutions. Economic benefits of humic acids. Humic acids chelate nutrient compounds, especially iron, in the soil to a form suitable for plant utilization. Thus, the nutrient supply of plants is optimized. High increases up to 70% in yield, accompanied by a reduction of up to 30% in the use of fertilizers and pesticides, as well as better and healthier growth of green grass, ornamentals, agricultural crops and woods, can be attained with the regular application of first-quality humic acids. Furthermore, water holding capacity of soils is increased considerably, which means that use of water can be reduced substantially. The best economic results can be obtained in light and sandy soils, poor in humus, as well as on recultivation fields. The diverse positive impacts of humic acids are to be observed particularly in such soils. This is true for almost all soils in dry and warm regions. As a result of the high mineralization rate of organic substances, providing these soils with stable humic acids is indispensable for the maintenance and improvement of soil fertility.